Hey, welcome to Impact Marriage with Nick and Leslie Edwards. So glad that you've joined us for another week of helping marriages to get better, helping families to continue to grow. What an exciting time it is really for us.
Yeah, super excited. It's been so fun running into people. Hey, I watched your podcast, talking about things that they learned, talking about things that they're implementing. It's been really neat just seeing people, how it is making an impact. Like, we're not just here talking about things. Our goal is to make you better, to make your family better, to make your life, to glorify God, to always be better. That's what our tagline is. So it's been really fun. So just remember, like, subscribe, and if you feel called, this does run off of donations. So if you feel so called, we'd love to have your support as we continue just to seek what God wants us to do in this ministry and impacting families. So
yeah, you can do that at impact320.org. And so make sure that you like, subscribe, and you find out more there. And always feel free to reach out to us with your questions. If you have a topic you think you would be great for us to discuss, we would love to hear from you as well. Yeah. So we just got back from vacation. We were up in Colorado for our middle daughter's senior trip, even though she graduated early. And so it was a great time getting to go stay up at South Fork, Colorado, skiing at Wolf Creek. It's been a long time since we've been skiing.
It has been a long time since we skied. Everybody that I talked about, they were like, "What? You'll pick it up like riding a bike." Oh, I did not think I would. So me and the girls went to ski school. It had been 20 years. The ski lesson guy, he's like, "Hey, how long has anybody skied before?" And I raised my hand. He's like, "How long has it been?" I was like,
20 years.
20 years. He's like, "Okay, yeah, that counts. You can still be in school." But we did. Everybody picked it up great. The girls ended up loving it, having a great time. Just some great times together, and some great times in some trees with one of our kids, and but everybody came back.
It was like, if you are thinking about taking your kids skiing or going skiing yourself, highly recommend renting the helmet, buying a helmet.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially if you have any of your kids that are a little kamikaze at all.
But it was a great place. Went to Wolf Creek ski area. It was a great place to learn from our girls.
First time I'd been skiing there, we've been to Copper Mountain, Winter Park, and Durango, and several other places. First time there, best snow we've ever skied on.
I told the girls, I was like, "You have no idea how lucky you are for spring break skiing." Like, it snowed the whole third day, like picture perfect weather while we were there. It was
great.
A great experience from top to bottom. Everything about it was great, except we did get stuck in, for those of you that have seen on the news, the windstorm coming back from Amarillo. We did drive back on Friday.
In the middle of that 70, 80, 90 mile an hour wind. It was crazy.
It was treacherous. So just prayers to the family. I know we were ahead of the really severe crash that happened out there, but it was hard driving. It was really hard. So I appreciate you keeping us safe. And I said it was the hardest thing because we left when it was downpour blizzarding in Colorado. We hit Amarillo, and it's like my knee was sitting against the car door. I could feel the truck door hitting my leg. Crazy trucks overturned. So
take your hands off the wheel and you can make a left turn.
Pretty much is how it was. And our girls just slept right through it. They're like, well, it's fine.
But that's the way it should be, right? They should feel safe. And
that's exactly right. They never knew any difference.
Yeah. So as we were thinking about what do we share, what do we learn from this trip? And one of the things for me, I always want to do is, what did I learn from this experience? Yeah. Not just what did I experience, but what did I learn from this experience? And taking that experience, what do we gain from it? What reflection can I gain from it? And how do I be better because of it? How do I learn something? How do I learn it, share it, and continue to do it and apply different things to our life? So today we wanted to share with you 5 lessons that we learned from the mountain. And just from our time skiing, our time on vacation with kids, what we learned from that process, and how hopefully you can take some of these same lessons and begin applying them to your life.
Yeah,
so you ready to go?
Let's go. Let's do them.
All right. So lesson number 1 that we go for it.
Yeah, no.
All right. So lesson number 1 that we would just tell you is pay for the lesson. Everything that you go through in life, you have to pay a price.
You don't know how to do it.
That's right. And so when you don't know what to do, pay the price for the professional to teach you what to do next, whether that's for your finances, whether that's marriage counseling, whether that's investing in yourself and taking a class to better your business. Pay for the lesson. Yeah. It's worth the price. Yeah. You and the girls went through that. I took off when I went and skied.
He did.
But it was so worth it that when y'all went through the lessons, they were further ahead.
Yeah.
You paid the price. It was expensive. It wasn't cheap, but it was worth it to get them moving a lot further, a lot faster.
Yeah. When the very first time I ever went skiing, I didn't take a lesson. They were like, oh, Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill was this great man that was in our youth ministry. Mr. Bill, he teaches everybody how to ski. So I was like, okay, great. So Mr. Bill taught me how to ski, and he's the most patient, most wonderful man. Like, it was fabulous. But it was great for our girls to have, I think it avoids frustration.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know what to do. Our girls came out and they just were less frustrated because they had the basic skills that they need. And it saved us, even though we spent the 2 hours in ski school, in the long run, it saved us so much time that we weren't frustrated on the mountain. I don't know how to turn. I mean, even Brooke still, I don't know how to turn. I don't know how to do this.
And it saved a lot of frustration on my part.
100%.
Instead of having to try to teach y'all and try to teach your kids, if someone else can teach them, that's well worth it.
And then for me, the other thing that the lesson did was give me confidence.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I would pick it up pretty quickly. Everybody said that, but I just wasn't sure. And I didn't want to be the one that was lagging behind the whole trip.
You weren't the one lagging behind?
I didn't say I wasn't. I just, I knew. We have super athletic kids. Nick is super athletic. Not my highest skill set, but I did all right.
You did great. You did good. It was a lot of fun.
I pulled up the tail a lot of the time, but it was good. But that's what it did to me. It avoided frustration, and it gave me confidence, which is what people need in anything that they're going through.
Absolutely. We even went through this recently, starting new businesses, and our business is growing, we've got ourselves to a certain level. Yeah. And now having to go meet with a different financial professional, a tax professional, someone who is helping us to strategically move forward. Yeah. And you got to pay for the lesson. Yeah. Pay the price. It is the greatest investment that you can make is when you get to a certain level and you're going, I want to go further. I want to go faster. I want to be able to take that next step. Pay the professional to help you get there. Learn what you're doing.
I mean, in everything that you're doing. In your marriage, you don't know how to communicate. Get somebody to help you how to communicate. If you've got other things, if you've got other stressors that are going on, if you've got trauma, even the kind of things that we talk about, having that professional that can help you through those is so important in everything that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So lesson number 1, pay for the lesson, pay the price to be able to get better.
Okay, and then the second one, after you've taken the lesson, it doesn't always mean that your fear has gone away. So what I would tell the second lesson is to push past the fear.
Push past the fear. That's a great lesson in life.
So I'll tell you, so after we went, I went a few times down the bunny slope and I was like, okay, this is coming back. And even the instructor, he was like, you got this. I was like, okay, I do. But I stayed in school with the girls and they kept going through, and even that bunny slope was kind of worrisome for the girls. And if y'all know our 2 girls, we went with our 2 youngest girls, and our middle daughter, zero fear.
In the world. Let's go. Put the
zero
down
fear.
Here.
I can go black. I got this, Well, our youngest is a little more cautious. She takes after her mother a lot more. And so she got off. We were like, oh, we got this. We're so good. And not to mention that I took us out at the very top, very first ski lift after we all go.
We look like bowling pins. We come off. Okay, so we're riding the ski lift up. They're a little nervous. We're ready to go. We get to the top. And I don't know if it was the first one. Maybe it was the second.
I think it was the second run. We got off the first one beautifully.
And I don't know what you did. You were in the far left. I was in the far right. The girls were between us. And it just looked like bowling pins.
Everyone out. I felt terrible. I couldn't get it. It was terrible. But that's not the point of the story. Thanks for embarrassing me, but that's not the point of the story. So we do a few runs, and our youngest is still like, I can't turn. And then gets a little more frustrated, and everybody else is kind of picking it up and going. And we go down to eat for lunch, and our youngest is like, I'm not going back up. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to go back up. I'm fine. I'm done. And we're like, no. It's okay. It's going to be okay. It takes everybody a day to learn. And she didn't want to do it. She was very fearful. And I've let times in my life where I have let fear of something new keep me from great things that could have happened because I was scared of it. And we convinced her, push past it. You got this. We'll help you. We'll walk you through it. We'll keep you going. And she did. And
by the end of the day, she was killing it.
Oh my gosh, she was doing amazing and had a blast. And I mean, just tucking and diving and flying past the hills. But had she never pushed past the fear, it would have hindered her whole trip. She wouldn't have enjoyed the entire trip. So you have to remember that in life.
Yeah.
There's things that seem scary, but you got to push past it because there are great things on the other side of that fear.
So, the opposite of fear is faith.
Yeah.
And our faith is believing God is who he says he is, that he will do what he says he will do. And faith gives us freedom. That's what Christ does. He gives us freedom from the thing that enslaved us. And what enslaves us is fear.
Yeah.
It keeps us captive. It enslaves us. It keeps us down and oppressed and suppressed to keep you from doing the things that God has for you. And so whether it's physical on the mountain skiing or spiritual of pushing past your fears and go, no, I have faith. I'm going to believe that I can believe God's going to take me through this thing, and I'm not stuck.
And it's so much of your mindset in that.
It is such a mindset.
So after we came back, we were like, all right, everybody's good enough on greens. Let's do some blues. Well, it had been a long time since I'd done some blues, and we were coming down one. It was not a hard blue.
No,
it was just an average blue. And we turn this corner and it gets pretty steep, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to fall. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm not. And you've done so good at talking me through this and changing my mindset in it. That whole way is like, I am not going to fall. I am not going to do this. I am going to do this. So even for me, pushing past the fear and doing a blue allowed me to be able to ski with my family for the rest of the trip. And it's so much of your mindset. You can't help that you're worried about that something pops in your mind. Thinking about something is not the fear.
That's right.
It's pushing past that and going, this is not going to happen. I am going to do this. Yes. I've got this that's going to push past that.
Yeah, so, and that's what courage is. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's that in the middle of fear, I push through.
That's exactly right. So don't let fear stop you. You got to push past the fear to get to the great things.
Yeah, so pay for the lesson, push past the fear. Number 3 is expose yourself to new things. Expose your kids, expose your family, expose yourself to new opportunities. I think we get stuck in this one little box, and we think that life just is in this one little box in your one little town, and the same mindset that everybody has. Instead of going, no, I want to expose myself to new ways of thinking, new understanding, new teaching, new opportunities, and it changes the way you think.
Yeah. That was one of the funniest lines from this trip when we're all riding the ski lift up, and our middle daughter goes, why y'all been holding out on us all this time? Who knew skiing was so fun? Because it was their first time that we had taken them. And it is like they never had a concept of that. And just anything you're doing, you have to step out of your box. Just do new things.
When you expose yourself to new things, your brain actually changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is this fear immediate response that, oh no, it's something new. It's something I don't know. But how you also process that information is it begins to rewire your brain that, there is more opportunities. There are more things. There's more understanding out there.
Yeah.
And so how do I see those as opportunities to learn and to grow? You know, we've talked about this for vacations a lot.
Yeah.
Like your go-to would be, let's just go to the beach. Let's go take a cruise. Let's go do something very easy, very predictable, very easy. And I think even through this, you're going, it's time to start exposing our daughters to new things.
Yeah.
And so whether it's going skiing, taking them to, we talked about taking them to New York and seeing something new, not just going on a cruise, but taking them and exposing them to different things in life. Yeah. And when you do that, you begin exposing your mind to new opportunities.
It's growth. You don't get stuck. Like if you don't know it exists, you don't know it exists.
Yeah.
I heard a speaker talking about it at one of the educational conferences. And he said, I never knew what other careers existed. He said the only people that were around me were people that worked blue-collar jobs. He said, I never knew anything else existed. I didn't know lawyers and doctors, and I didn't know anybody that did like that. And he's like, when I went to school, I got exposed to all these things and got to meet all these people. When he went to college, he's like, my mind was just completely open. Like, it's so important to do those things. Take them to the museums. Take them to things that they think are going to be boring. Because it opens your mind. Even like some of the times we went to museums and we were like, I don't really know about this. But ends up being a great learning experience because you're exposed to something you'd never thought about before.
And I think we've even worked to do that in different ways with our kids. Expose them to different restaurants.
Yes.
Taking them to fancier restaurants or something that's maybe we have to save up for because it wasn't part of the normal budget.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one of the things we'd love to be able to do is for their birthdays, take them to new places, higher end restaurants, a little bit more expensive. Instead of giving them a gift, give them this experience of something completely new.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I've enjoyed all the different trips. Like we have just gone different places. We've gone on fishing trips together. We've gone to mountains. We've gone to, just different places. It's been fun.
Cruises and different things. And the more you expose yourself, the more you expose your mind to new opportunities. Yeah. And that's where our faith grows, going, man, our God is bigger than just this.
100%.
And so when you surround yourself with people who want to live in this bubble, you can only know that bubble. And one of the things, one of my goals is this year is to interview 10 people who are multimillionaires because they think differently.
Yeah.
And so I want to expose myself to people who have experienced different things, gone different places, in order that I can challenge my own thinking as well.
It's really good.
Even if I don't fully agree with them, I'm exposing myself to something new.
Which is really good, which takes us to our fourth point, which you're talking about. So exposing them to new things. And the reason why you do that is to make the memory. Like,
That's right.
Absolutely, you have to make the memories as families. Like, how many times are girls on this trip, oh, you remember when this? Do you remember when this? And like, just the things that going on a trip like that just spark their memory. And it doesn't have to be huge going on a big vacation. They were talking about things like when they were little, we did season passes to the local water park. And we would go to the water park all the time. We would do escape rooms together. Like things that we would do. It doesn't have to be expensive things. Like just things that you do around the house.
Be intentional about making about the memory, not just about the journey. So one of the things we did on this trip was we were going through Amarillo on the way up. It wasn't the middle of the sandstorm at that point.
It was earlier.
And we decided we'll take 15 minutes, go out of the way, and go to Cadillac Ranch.
We've driven around there many times, never stopped at Cadillac Ranch. Yeah.
It's 15 minutes out of the way. And just stopping there, they go, oh, this is going to be boring. And then there's paint cans, and they start painting.
Yeah, somebody handed them a spray paint can, and they start going and spray paint. They're like, oh, okay, Okay,
this is okay.
Yeah.
And so stopping and taking the time, take the picture, make the memory, make it worth it so that you remember what that trip was about. And making the memory is about remembering the emotion.
100%. The joy that came with it, the excitement, It's one of the things, I don't know if other people do this, they may not, that's why I want to give this tip, is anytime we go anywhere, we create a shared album for that trip, and anybody that takes pictures throws things into it.
Dump them all into one folder.
And like not even like fancy pictures. Like we laughed, like we're skiing, right? Everybody was a little sore. So our middle daughter led us in yoga. In the room, and so Nick is doing yoga with her. Well,
I'm not showing those pictures.
No, you don't get to see those. But it was really funny. But that's a memory. It's not. It's not even what is about it. It's just those little things like that, like joking that our middle's like so flexible into going all these things, and you're trying to mimic her,
twisting and doing things on my back, and I'm going, what in the world am I doing? Yeah. I am old and fat. I am not made for this right here.
But it was fun. They're just
about
memories.
The memory.
That's exactly
and
right.
She laughed at me, and I was laughing with her. Yes. And you're taking pictures of us, and you're laughing. It wasn't about anything else but making the connection, and the connection is the memory.
Being intent, like remembering this, like our very last run, we decided, okay, this is the last one we're going to do. We took a picture on the ski lift. All right, last one, girl. We took one on the first one up, and we took one on the last one up. Just making that memory, be intentional about calling out the memories when you're on the trips.
Yeah, it really is. Even having that shared album on your iPhone and just being able to put that as a shared album where everybody gets dumping their pictures really makes it a lot of fun, a lot easy to remember and be able to keep up with.
Yeah.
All right. So the last one, lesson number 5 is this: invest in what matters.
100%. Invest
in what matters. We get so caught up in all the different things of life that we forget the things that matter the most. Marriage is supposed to be the greatest thing there is. Yeah. It is the greatest blessing. From the very beginning, God gave us this gift of marriage.
Yeah.
And you get to wake up next to each other. You get to go to your jobs. You get to come home. You get to share the weight of your job. You get to share the joy of the good and the bad. You get to raise kids no matter how hard it is. You get to do it with the person that's your best friend.
Best friend, yeah.
You get to have great sex nights. You get to wake up the next morning. You get to do it again. And we're sold this bill of goods that you need to spend more time, more energy, and more of your mental power doing a job that doesn't matter rather than investing in what really does matter.
100%.
And that's this.
Yeah.
And so investing in your marriage, investing in your kids, investing in the memories so that you are laying the foundation, the groundwork for them to build their lives off of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so making sure that you really invest in what matters the most.
Yeah. Decide what that is for you guys. What is it that we're going to do? We're going to invest in this time together. Don't give your family the least of what you've got.
It's so easy to do.
Just be intentional about, I'm going to make the memories. I'm going to do this. I'm going to invest in my family. And whether that's financial, whether that's time, whether that's your energy that you have is invest in your family, invest in what matters, invest in your marriage. Like do those things. Like we've got another trip coming up that we're going to get to take, just the two of us, and just being intentional.
Trip that we get to go on together, and we're intentional on anytime we take a business trip. One of us takes a business trip, you have a trip, that we make sure that we can plan it to go together.
If at all possible.
We do everything we can to make that happen, because it creates a memory for us. It creates a connection and invest here. And it keeps fear and doubt from creeping in.
100%.
And so if you can go on work trips, if you can go on business trips, if you can do anything with your family, invest in what matters the most to you. And unfortunately, if you do not know what you're investing in, if you don't know what matters the most, it's just kind of like your dollars. They just disappear.
You get to the end and have nothing.
And you go, hey, who are you? We're empty nesters now, and I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
And so why do I even want to stay married to you? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's the struggle so many people have. And so investing in what matters the most. And so you have to determine what matters the most and what things do you want to be able to invest in, spend your time in, spend your energy in, spend your time, money, finances, all those things in the right direction.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be these grand adventures. Like, I'm not going to lie, skiing was not the cheapest vacation that we've ever taken.
But we've been planning it for a while.
We've planned it, and the girls know, like, it becomes a joke. Oh, no donuts on Friday, because we know we're saving up. And so we were intentional about that. But it doesn't, you can live within your means and still do those things. You can do things around here. You can do things that are close, but invest, make the memories, push past the fears, do something different that you haven't ever done before. Don't get stuck in that. There's a lot of really great things that'll help you invest in your family and help you make the memories, do all of those things. So those are our lessons from the mountain.
Yeah. So pay the price for the lesson, push past your fears, expose yourself to new things, make the memory, and invest in what matters. What great lessons for your life, your business, your marriage,
100%.
Your family, your kids, all those different levels, to continue to push past what's normal.
Yeah.
Because who wants to be normal?
Nope.
Normal sucks. Normal's broke. Normal's divorced.
That's right.
Normal's living
mad at each other.
Paycheck in a dead-end job and coming home and being mad at each other. I don't want to be normal. I want to be better. And I want to live a life of abundance. And that's what God says, that I'm a God of abundance.
Yeah.
Seek me and you will see that I'm a God of abundance. And I just want to believe that.
Absolutely. And that's all areas.
Believe it, but live it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so thank you so much for joining us for another week. And as we continue to push past normal, to push past what everyone else expects of your marriage, to make it where it's always better.
That's right, because better is always better.
Have a great week. We'll see you soon.